Welcome to the Nerdiverse. Go ahead, sit and listen to the masters, the old heads, talk about what you love the most. Video games, comics, movies, and everything you need to maintain your week. Got the knowledge that's straight out the ether. Gonna need a drink and have to take a seat to expand your mind and listen to the speaker. Mike and the squad's gonna give you what you need. Please send in a question, come and get some answers, learn a couple lessons from the masters with the special guests. We got the green lanterns glowing on their chest. Yes, please sit back and relax, cause we're gonna hit you with them stone cold facts and allow me to be the very first to welcome you to the masters of the Nerdiverse. Welcome to Masters of the Nerdiverse, where we always have such sights to show you. This genetic super soldier of a podcast can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify. I am happy to announce that the Spotify gods have tipped their hat in our favor. They've looked upon us with just a glimmer, an infinitesimal smidgen of gratitude, and they've allowed us to be bestowed upon their channel. So if you're hearing this on Spotify, I want to welcome you and listen for more, because we got all the scores. I don't know what that means. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is my intelligent co-host, Winter.
Good evening, good morning, and good late afternoon. I am Winter, handle at Trashmonk the Third, coming at you live. Your boy.
Yeah,
I told myself I was not going to say that. Coming at you live, but it happened.
It happened.
Yep.
And it's immortal forever. Like, this recording will be on some kind of space station when the Earth is like losing all of its people, and the aliens find remnants of our culture.
Right.
They're going to hear it there, like 5 years from now.
So, are you looking at an AI scenario, like the movie AI?
Yeah.
Where aliens just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, man. Where they
go,
find,
what is this?
They find Haley Joel Osment like 7,000 years in the future.
Mm-hmm. By the way, AI is now on Hulu. You can go watch that again.
Yeah, watch AI. That movie was weird. I still don't get the movie. Does that make me stupid?
Well, I believe it was supposed to be it was like the next movie Stanley Kubrick was going to do, but it just never came to fruition until Steven Spielberg was like, I got money. And no one's taking my Schindler's List 2 reboot idea.
Right.
So,
yeah, man, that does make sense. And now that you say it, it kind of feels like a Kubrick movie in a weird way. And
especially that scene where the two furries are doing it in the hotel room.
We don't talk about that scene. That's The Shining. And it's like Kubrick was like, no, that this needs to be in the movie. They're like, it has nothing to do with anything. He's like, no, understand.
Okay, we can accept that it needs to be in the movie, but why do you need to be in the suit? I don't
understand that no one else can convey the character like I can, so I need to be in this suit with the blood. And they're like, but
what is Sally Fields doing here? Okay,
she just needs to be on set. I'm paying her money. She's drinking a Coke. She's drinking a Diet Coke on set. She's not going to act anytime. She just needs to be here.
What, are you trying to say something about Sally Fields' weight with a Diet Coke reference?
Yes, man. She looked kind of.
You heard it here. You heard it here, folks. Our hot takes on 1970s Sally Fields.
Yeah, she looked kind of puffy in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't know. No, I love Sally Fields. One day I'm going to meet her. I'm going to buy her a Kit Kat. We're going to talk about the weather. Oh, man. Speaking of this weather, man. A sugar-free Kit Kat for Sally Fields. Eat it off the floor, you tubbins.
Yes. And I'm happy that we're now on Spotify. I have to even out the sexist jokes.
Yeah, man. It's called a complaint sandwich.
I have one more joke for you. Mike's really been working hard on getting us on Spotify. Unfortunately, they use Weinstein-esque tactics to get you on the Spotify list. So, more power to you, Mike.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to take L's for the team, bro. And I had to just. I'm not going to even make fun of that. I'm not going to make fun of that movement, bro, because that's just too real. You see cats like Terry Crews spilling his guts out, and you just feel for the guy. It's rough.
Me
man.
too. Me too. Hashtag me too.
Hashtag how was your week, man?
Yeah, it was very good. I feel like my brain's about 80% capacity right now. Yeah, I need some more coffee. It's because I've been on a roll, baby, on Paladins.
Remember?
Yeah, I've been around. So in Overwatch, I was always stuck in the gold tier, but now in Paladins, I just reached into platinum.
We done platinum boys.
Yeah, and it's confirming all my thoughts that it was just shoddy teamwork from Overwatch, and Paladins is a lot more forgiving, as I always say.
Right.
For having like a terrible teammate, and I just know the strategies more about Paladins. There's definitely a meta and some strats that go on.
Would you say that Paladins is more new player friendly than Overwatch is?
In some circumstances, yes, because I think there's a lot more of the characters that you can play in Paladins are beginner friendly because they just are to me. Right. I would say, like you can pick up almost all the characters. I would not say the flanks, but most of the characters, and be able to get the basics down of what they need to do.
That's what's up, man.
Where compared in Overwatch, where there's Zarya,
yeah, I'm with that.
If you don't time stuff right, you're just
screwed.
Terrible.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Overwatch.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, what I was just gonna say, Widowmaker, right? Like, there's nothing more devastating to your team or to the other person's team than a Widowmaker. Right? Because that could be the most useless bot on the team or the most clutch. You know what I mean? And that's kind of not fair. Like you said, like if someone doesn't know how to play, let's say Zenyatta. How do you say his name? Zenyatta. Yeah, like a bad Zenyatta, man, is just he's so soft. You know what I mean? It's a soft character. It's a smushy character, and I'm getting the feeling that Paladins is not so hard cut when it comes to being squishy. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, I'm not going to spend another 15 minutes talking about it like last time. Right. But yeah, it's I recommend it. It's a free game. What can I say?
Oh man, yeah, it's free games. What else did you do with your week, man?
Yeah, did some schoolwork, cleaned some house, went over to a friend's house, played some Mancala or Moncala and cornhole.
Brie. That sounds what's up, man.
I think I'm gonna go pro cornholer.
Yeah, man, you're gonna have to wear the cornhole coat. You know, it's like a bowling shirt, but it's only for cornholing.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their own jerseys, by the way.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Johnson Phil's Sausage and Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That sounds like the worst night ever.
How dare you?
Well, if you I guess steam the sausages in the Pabst Blue Ribbon, you can just defeat.
No, you're making it worse. That's gross.
Treat it like a brat, dude. You just boil it in the beer, and then you die. You just go to heaven, dude.
I feel like I'm already dead.
Damn. Don't cry for me.
I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be alive.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead. Oh, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Weeks. This week has been the slowest of motions. I haven't done anything I'm supposed to do. I haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen Jurassic Park. I've been doing this side hustle thing, which has been pretty good. I've been focusing a lot on our Twitter presence, and we went from would say within a month span, we went from I would say 5 Twitter followers to 80, which I'm extremely happy for. So we're getting people. Nice. I'm trying my hardest to get our social media up and get the word out and making friends with other up and coming podcasters. So it's all very fun. And part of that goes into the news. But also this week, you mentioned free games. And literally right before we started recording, I booted up Warframe. I'm going to start playing that because I need something to fill my Monster Hunter itch while that game is kind of stagnant right now. And that's part of the news too. But I just literally just played it for like 5 seconds and it feels good. It feels like, I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like a character action game, but on skates. Like your character just whizzes around and can run at top speeds. It feels like you're in a race car, but you have swords and electric powers. You can do. It almost feels like that game Vanquish. If you ever played Vanquish by Platinum Games, it has a feel like that.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel like the first time. It doesn't feel like the first time you've played a game like that. That's good.
So it's like it's not completely out of my control. It felt a little alien at first, but then I was playing like this feels like Vanquish. Okay, now I know how to approach combat in this game because if you run too fast, you'll just dart in front of your target and aggro other targets in front of you and be technically like a bad tank. You can accidentally bad tank in this game. It feels like where it's like, oh man, it's like that in Spaceballs where you go ludicrous speed. And you just shoot past the guy like 5 light years. That's how I felt. And I was like, oh, okay, this is Vanquish. Think about what you're doing when you engage these things in battle, or just avoid them altogether. But I'm going to be talking way more about that because it is a free game. And it really spurred this is because, well, that's part of the news. But I guess we can go into the news because I literally did nothing else with my week. Is that at TennoCon, which is like Warframe's own conference, they announced that the game is right. I didn't even know this existed.
I thought you said TanaCon.
Who?
TanaCon that happened recently with VidCon. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea. What's that?
Oh, I thought you were. TanaCon is like a reaction to. By one person, really, of not getting billing with some other top YouTubers at VidCon. So she made her own conference where it's like where she said everyone's going to be treated as equals, and then it was like everyone's going to be treated as equals, but then we're also going to have a VIP pass that only like 50 people are going to buy. But then, like I think it was like 5,000 people bought it, and it was supposed to be a venue that only 1,000 people could go. So the cops came and shut it down, and no one has received a refund. Man. Yeah, no one has received a refund yet.
That sucks, dude. That's like the Source Awards. You go and it just gets
and they're saying that like January is when you might get your refund back of $60 or something like that.
That is infinite BS, dude. That is the worst. Man.
But that's not what you were talking about.
No, but that's super interesting, though. It's like, I'm going to make my own con, and then you half-ass it to the infinite power. Like, if worse off, you've lost money, and now you owe people money.
Right.
It's good times. But no, at TennoCon, which is the Warframe's conference just for their players, because apparently they have this weird, huge, like, undercurrent of fans that I'm just now learning that they exist. And... it seems very interesting to me, and apparently this game has one of the best infrastructures for free content and paid content in gaming right now. And I'm just like, most of the people who follow this game are very passionate and very happy with how this company is running their kind of gaming as a service type platform. So that's what really made me want to get into it, because it's like, free games done right, you'll spend so much money on it, like especially if you really get into it. Because I'm not sure how the paid implements go just yet. I don't know if it's all cosmetic or if it's like timed things, where if you want to speed up, if it's behind the time wall. I don't know. I have to play it more. But yeah, they announced that Warframe is coming to the Switch, which is going to be very, very cool for most people, because the Switch is like the perfect thing you play when you're just on the go. Like if you're on a road trip or on taking a flight somewhere, the Switch seems so cool. And so many games that I never thought would go to the Switch are going to the Switch, like Dragon Ball and Dark Souls.
Fortnite.
Fortnite, for that matter. I'm sure that's going to make them a ton of money for the Switch. So
just imagine a Call of Duty game going there.
Hey, man, don't knock it, dude. The way that Nintendo's starting to really embrace their third-party contributors, who knows? Doom is on the Switch. You know what I mean? So it's like if bloody ass Doom can be on this console, then anything can. It reminds me of like this. The Super Nintendo was like the last Nintendo console that really embraced third party, and it started getting really exclusive when it came to the 64 and the GameCube and the Wii. They really kept to their own stuff for a good long time. And this console seems like the first time in a long time that they're just like, come one, come all. We're finally in HD. Make your game on our console. We'll adapt it for you. We'll make it nice and easy. And that's another reason why I kind of want to switch, because certain games I want to play on the go or on my break at work. But yeah, Warframe seems very interesting. And for the second I played it, seemed fun. I'm going to dive back into it more tonight after we record. And I'll keep you guys posted. See if I still like it in a week. Oh, man. You have anything else?
Right, that was almost Bleach Hole worthy, but we'll...
Hey, man. I could talk about stuff, Mr. Paladin's Power Hour.
I knew it. I was hesitant to bring up the Bleach Hole at any moment of this episode.
Hey, man, don't throw stones in the glass house, my beloved co-host.
Are you like a wise old man on the porch? Just have those sayings ready to go?
Nah, man, I'm just wise and old.
You don't want to bathe an otter on a hot day.
You don't want to.
All right.
You're more nervous than a cat in a room full of walking chairs.
Yeah.
Stupid. All right. Let's get into this news, man.
What are you rocking chairs? I thought you said rocking chairs.
I talk for a living, ladies and gentlemen. My mouth broke. And I know I said it wrong, but I just wanted to ignore it. But since I jacked it up. It's not my fault.
No, I'm the Spock. I listen to everything you say.
And it's all documented and recorded on our non-existent MOTN wiki. There's some guy out there who's created a wiki that documents all of our actions and puts...
there's Winter, Mike, and Brian.
Right. Hey, man. One of our posts on Twitter today just got a like from Oat Studios. Awesome. That's Neil Blomkamp's production studio. Those are the guys. He's the guy who did District 9.
What?
Yeah. Hey, little things. Dude. I like it. I love his stuff. I love Oat Studios, man. If you have a chance.
They're crushing it in South Africa.
Dude, they're crushing it in South Africa, bro. You can't walk down the street, dog.
Yeah. Did you check our Tumblr? Die Antwood just tumbled
I love
us.
me some Die Antwood. Remember when they were in Chappie? That was the dumbest ever, dog.
I just listened to a podcast that mentioned it briefly, and a guy was talking about how there's like urban legends of how they were terrible to work with.
I bet they look like they're just a pain in the ass. They just look it. They look like a mixture of like Prince and like Oasis. You know, just the most demanding humans on the earth.
Prince and Oasis.
Like, why can't we get a baby giraffe? Because it's 1:00 in the morning. But I want a giraffe. Or we won't perform.
I would go David Bowie and I don't know, Morrissey comes to mind. I don't know.
Morrissey, but I don't know. David Bowie seems chill. David Bowie be like, it's fine.
Well, I think you're thinking of old Bowie. I'm talking about young, coked out of his mind.
Yeah, young Bowie's the worst.
With the different colored eyes.
Yeah, young Bowie's the worst, dog.
Calling out MTV when they're just like, don't you understand we're new at this?
Yeah, man. Because he was putting MTV on blast super hard. No Twitter.
Yeah.
He just talks into the earth. Oh, man. You know what's weird is that we have another Spider-Man Power Hour. There's a lot of Spider-Man news coming out of nowhere. So
yep, here
yeah, man. You ready for the
let's do
the Power Hour? Power Hour.
Yep, the Spider-Man, the Spoderman Powder Hour.
Don't
Power
cry,
Hour.
Spoderman is the best thing ever. It's just a picture of Tobey Maguire with that ugly cry face from Spider-Man 1. And it just says, "Don't cry, Spoderman," because he looks so disturbing.
We do audio memes here.
We do audio. We explain the memes to you like Audible. we're the Audible of memes, dog. First off, actor J.B. Smoove joins the Far From Home Spider-Man cast in apparently a huge role. If you're not familiar with that actor, he does a lot of small roles, but he's mostly known for Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I love him from Pootie Tang because he plays Truckee. If you ever seen Pootie Tang, watch Pootie Tang after this podcast, and then email us and tell us how dank Pootie Tang is. You know what I'm saying? Because we are rejuvenated. And I actually tweeted at him like, "Good luck, bro. Try to get a Pootie Tang reference in there." And he retweeted us, which was super cool.
No way,
man. JB Smoove.
What's going on with man? How do you get this? How do you get this to happen on Twitter?
Because you just say goofy shit, and then if you make the person chuckle, they'll respond, dude. You just got to say the goofiest thing at the same time. Thank them for their efforts.
I've only had one person retweet something or like heart it, and it was the guy that took over Face the Nation.
That's dope, bro. But no, man, I'm trying to like JB Smoove retweeted us, man. We got a couple of likes and a couple of followers for it. So big ups to you, bro, man. I can't wait till you kill it in whatever role you're in. I'm going to guess out of left field that he's going to play J. Jonah Jameson. That would be like he's going to be a African American J. Jonah Jameson, which is going to piss a lot of people off. Mm-hmm. But the guy has the acting chops. He has a great voice, and I can just see him. As long as they don't give him that mustache, that'll be weird. But they kind of have to if it's J. Jonah. They kind of have to give him that mustache. But
well, I'm going to call it, and he plays the character from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and the crossover.
Yeah, that Seinfeld does exist in the Spider-Man universe, actually, because that's Kramer is actually Spider-Man in that universe, dude.
How can it be a spider and a man?
Where does he put his suit? Where does he put his wallet? It can't be in his pants. It has no pockets. In other news, Nick Cage, I know your favorite guy, is actually going to be voicing Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, the animated movie. That's the weirdest choice I've heard in a long time, but let's do it, right? I mean, let's do it. He knows what he's doing. He's never done anything wrong. Something wrong once, but then he erased it from the space-time continuum. He got it out of there, man. Oh, man. I hate the Spider-Verse. Like, I hate the idea of it. It's so self-indulgent. I can't stand the idea of, like, we're going to make a comic book with 50 Spider-Mans just running around. It's like, what's the worst part about like Attack of the Clones is that you see like 75 like lightsabers running around just looks silly. It's the same thing. Like your character stops being cool and there's 50 of them on the screen. That's my personal gripe.
I liked the prequels myself.
I like the prequels. But that being said, this movie looks dope. It has Miles in it. It has Spider-Gwen. Apparently, it has Spider-Man Noir, which is an alternate version of Spider-Man based like in the 30s or 20s or something like that. And it looks pretty dope. So good on you, Nick. He's just staying in Marvel however he can. And more power to him, man.
All because they wouldn't let him play Superman. Okay.
Jeez, he almost did it. He was so close. He was in a suit and everything, dog. Oh, man. And closing out our Spider-Man Power Hour is we lost a Titan this passing week. Steve Ditko, comic book legend, co-created Spider-Man, passed away at 90 years old this week. And Steve Ditko is one of those guys who never wanted the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a juxtaposition. It's funny because you had Stan the Man Lee. He was always front facing and Excelsior and always selling the product. And then you just had quiet, Steve doing the designs, building the characters. He created all the early Spider-Man villains. You can thank Steve Ditko for that. Like Dr. Octopus, Electro, Kraven the Hunter. And he also did some DC stuff like Blue Beetle, and I think he had a hand in creating Squirrel Girl and Marvel, and Hawk and Dove. Doctor Strange, you can thank Steve Ditko for creating Doctor Strange. So, and he's one of those guys who just finally got recognition. I mean, industry people always knew Steve had something to do with it, but because Stan was such a I Am Marvel kind of presence, guys like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko never really got the time to shine, especially during the 90s and the 2000s. It's just now that these creative people, they're just titans in the industry. Like, who thinks of that color scheme? You know what I mean? It's so iconic now. But where do you get red and blue for Spider-Man? You know what I mean? It's insane to think of that, And he will be missed. Steve Ditko was one of the best. He's in the pantheon of comic book creators. You know what I mean? And kind of makes me want to watch some of the old episodes of Spider-Man and watch Doctor Strange. And just really just think about how creative this guy was, how much of an inspiration he is to all of us nerds. You know what I mean? So just want to give him a shout out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's
send you off into space.
Speaking of things that we put you inside of that Spock Tic Tac and send you into the infinite of space. Now, something that's not as creative as Steve Ditko is. So there's a Dragon Ball Super movie coming out very soon, and this is kind of what stopped the anime for now, because they really wanted to focus on this movie where Goku, Vegeta, and the group go on and fight some mysterious new Saiyan, and we come to find out that Saiyan is Brawly.
Okay, sorry.
Womp womp. I know, but I have to give my 2 cents on Brawly, because Brawly is one of those characters that people love him because he's so edgelord. Like, Brawly is like he's pretty much the Incredible Hulk of the Dragon Ball Z series. And for years, he's never been canon, or what that means is he's never been actually a part of the universe. He was in a couple of movies, and people just love him. People love Brawly to death. They pretty much forced him into Dragon Ball Z Fighters, or Dragon Ball Fighters. And now, according to the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, he's going to be canon in the series, and they're going to do a rewrite of his character. Because, Winter, I just want you to hear this origin story. I want you to tell me if it makes sense.
I'm going to try not to die in the middle of this.
Don't die, okay?
So I already feel my heartbeat slowing down.
It's fine. So,
okay.
Goku is a Saiyan. And this is a warrior race of fighters that live on planet Vegeta.
That's correct.
The
Monkey Men, got it.
The Monkey Mans. So when Goku was born, he was in an incubator along with all the other Saiyan babies in a Saiyan hospital. And apparently when Goku was first born, he was a crier. He would cry all the time. Cry, cry, cry. Apparently, Brawly was the baby next to him. And Brawly happens to be the legendary Super Saiyan, which is one of the most powerful, naturally powerful Saiyans born in the last 2,000 years. And it bothered Brawly so much that he remembered this moment through life. And that's the sole reason why he wants to destroy Goku and everyone he loves. Because he cried that one time and he couldn't relax.
Oh my gosh, what are they doing?
That is the origin.
What are they doing?
That is pretty much the origin of Brawly. So when the movie happens and Goku meets Brawly, Brawly just looks at him for 2 seconds and screams his name and just loses his shit, and they just start fighting. And it's never been.
What is going on with Dragon Ball Z?
It's never been more deep than that.
All right, I've had enough. Right. Dragon Ball Z. This is. You're I don't understand.
I'm not making this up. Like, that's just it. That's the origin.
They need to get back to the drawing board and figure out what they are doing with this series.
That's exactly
that is crazy to me that is it. My brain is dead now.
That's exactly what Akira Toriyama said. He's like, I know the character is a little light in the story development, so we're going to switch some things around.
Light.
We're going to switch some things around and make it more interesting. So we're getting a new revamped, retconned Brawly for this movie. Okay. And apparently he's going to be Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Infinite, or whatever. We'll see. But that is the origins of Brawly. Get hype for brand new Brawly lore.
It's like, how much money is Dragon Ball Z bringing in that they can't...
So much money,
that they can't, hire someone that's a storyteller and tell them, oh, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have this as a storyline.
No, man. That's the weird thing about like mangakas and guys who write this stuff. There's no one around to tell them no. So there's usually a one-man band when it comes to Japanese production, either in video games or movies or anime. It's usually that's the guy. You don't tell Hideo Kojima anything. You just let him do what he wants to do, and which is why I'm so worried about Death Stranding.
Right.
But
true.
Anywho, it's crazy. It's crazy. Speaking of things that are also equally as crazy, and let's stay on anime for a while, apparently Legendary Productions or Legendary Films, the guys who make Godzilla and Pacific Rim, have decided that they're just going to make a live-action Gundam movie.
They're going to call it Eastern Rim? Okay.
Jeez, it might as well be Eastern Rim. That's funny you say that. Because it's okay, I get it. Everybody saw Ready Player One, and everybody got hype when Mobile Suit Gundam showed up. I know I did, and everybody.
Wait, what about the one with Wolverine in it? That you know which one I'm talking about?
What Deadpool 2?
No, with where it's Hugh Jackman with robot arms or something, he's controlling a mech suit.
Oh,
it's called crap.
Yeah, what was that called? It was Robot Jox.
Yeah.
It was called crap, but it was called Real Steel.
That started this whole way.
You're talking about Real Steel, bro. But no, man. It's okay. Are you familiar with Doctor Who?
That is an abomination, but yes.
Doctor Who works. Gundam is the Doctor Who
that work?
of anime, right? So, all
right.
Yeah. Okay, hear me out. So with Doctor Who, every season or every couple of seasons, they flip doctors, right? They change the actor. He's reborn because he's a time magician. I forget how it works. And it's a completely different storyline, right? With new characters and new experiences. Gundam in itself is just a name. When it comes to Gundam, over the years, because I think Gundam's been around since the 70s, there's been multiple completely different storylines, completely different characters of Gundam. There's been Gundam Wing, there's been Gundam 00, there's been Char's Counterattack, there's been Gundam Seed, Gundam Unicorn. There's been a ton of different Gundam series, G Gundam, that have nothing to do with each other. You know what I mean? It's just that they use these mobile suits and there's different designs. You know what I mean? So when you say, I'm going to make a Gundam movie, in my brain, it's what exactly is that? Right?
Well, they made a Power Rangers movie. You know how many Power Rangers series there are.
But when they made Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, that was directly after Generation 1. So they had nothing else to feed on. There wasn't Power Ranger Ninja Storm or Power Ranger Turbo or Power Ranger Zeo.
It's funny that you mentioned Ninja Storm. That was the one in my mind.
That's what I'm saying. But Ninja Storm is real.
Yeah.
But they started at the beginning. So if they just wanted to make a movie on Mobile Suit Gundam and just use those characters, that's fine. But it's you're gonna have to make a completely original story to make everyone happy. You can't do Wing because the 00 guys will get mad. You can't make 00 because the Seed guys will get mad. So it's you have to create brand new Gundams for this movie, which everyone's gonna hate because everybody wants to see their Gundam. You know what I mean?
Make it a girl Gundam.
There's girl Gundams, man. Make it just to make it like Ghostbusters and have a all female cast.
No, the suit is a woman. That's
wow.
There you go.
Wow. You just destroyed Gundam for me for the next 30 minutes until I just listen to Endless Waltz and it just all comes rushing back. Oh, man. Speaking of ladies, Kerry Russell apparently joins Star Wars Episode 9, and she's going to play some kind of major role. Mara Jade? Rey's mom? Who knows? We're going to have to see. That would blow my mind. I would love if they're never going to do extended universe. They're just never going to do it. That bothers me. Knights of the Old Republic will never see the light of day ever for anything because they just don't want to upset people. And I get it. I super get it. But it's just give me Darth Revan. If the next trilogy took place 1,000 years before all of that Skywalker nonsense, I'll be so happy. I'll be so damn happy.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, really. Not at all. Yeah.
And chances are Carrie's going to play a character who we don't know who it is. Just like when Benicio del Toro was announced, everybody thought, oh, is he going to be like Sky? Is he going to be like the guy from the Force Unleashed games? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? No, man, they're not that clever. It's going to be some new-ass character that nobody cares about.
It's going to be, I am Princess Leia's sister. But could you guys call me Princess Leia as well? Right.
My hair is in the bun. You get it?
Yeah. It's going to be a Beer Fest type motif.
I love
you remember Beer Fest. Okay.
The bobble is impossible to handle. That's my shit.
Yes, we cover all things in the Nerdiverse.
Nerdiverse is vast, man. We can get into all types of stupid stuff. Man.
Speaking of stupid, Darksiders 3.
Yeah, thank you. You saved my life right now. Yeah. Save my life tonight. Darkstalkers 3 is coming out soon. November 27th.
Correct.
Did you play any of the Darkstalkers games, bro?
No. I got better stuff to do.
You play into the Darkstalkers? You play Darkstalkers 2 with death, bro?
Nah, I was a Halo Black Ops dude.
I had bills and shit. It's I got no time for that. No, I played Darkstalkers. What the hell is this? What's it called? Super Bowl Saturday? Darksiders. I played Darksiders 1, and I just couldn't get into it. Mm-hmm. And 2 came out, and it looked cool and edgy, and I was like, eh. Like you said, I had better games to play at the time. And apparently, this game looked really rough, maybe a couple of months ago when they kind of showed some gameplay of it. And luckily they have till November to get it together and build hype around it. And these are the games that are all done by Ed McGuinness, who's a real sick artist over at Marvel. He did a lot of like epic stuff. He did Battle Chasers, all that kind of cool stuff, if you know about that. So I think he's still doing the design, even though it doesn't look like his design, which would suck if he's not involved. Because the big draw to me when it came to Darksiders was the art style, because it looked very like edgy and it looked like 90s comics, and I kind of dug that. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not going to buy it unless they just show me something that just breaks my brain. I'm just not really too hype about it, man. But we'll see. Also, did you know that in Uncharted, when Nathan Drake gets shot, he's not actually getting shot. It's just that his luck is running out. And when you finally, when your life bar goes all the way down, that's him actually getting hit by a bullet. What?
This is the problem with, I have one of the many problems with nerd news is how many hours did this guy spend working on this article?
Hours.
About really,
many edits.
Just about something that really has no, there is no carbon footprint on this article.
There's no receptacle to receive this information.
Yeah, it's okay, he's lucky. What does this mean? What does this mean? This is something that I would go, if they revealed this at a conference, I would go, oh, that's pretty interesting. You don't devote a whole dang article on this, man.
People need to know, man. The Nerdiverse.
Charlie Hall, get your act together. But I'm going to follow you on Twitter.
I'm going to follow you. Please follow back. But no, man. People needed to know that if you shoot a Gatling gun at Nathan Drake, It's only when you hit the last pixel of health that the actual infinite bullets don't phase shift through his body, because he's so lucky. He's so super lucky.
That was really hurting my immersion onto the game.
Somebody got
by the
fired
way,
for that. That's the dumbest thing ever. First of all,
I'm gonna go on my Medium account and write a big old paper about how
I'm gonna go on Mixer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on Mixer and complain about it. But it's like, who wanted this information, right? Like who's dying to know this stupid? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Moving on. There was a news article about James Wan's Mortal Kombat reboot that was super stupid, and it sounded really bad. But earlier today, I found that was false. The executive producer said all the news about that was false. So I'm going to retract that from the news, even though just know it involved a brand new character that's the main character. It was going to Resident Evil it, where it's just Alice, even though Liu Kang should be the main character. It's so frustrating.
Wrong. It should be Raiden. Raiden should be the main character. I don't care.
That's fine. That's fine. Here's my thing about like Resident Evil. It's like you could have picked a number of people to be your main character. You could have picked Claire Renfield, Jill Valentine, maybe Chris. But you make a character just so your wife could be in the movie infinitely for all 7,000 sequels. Moving on.
Yeah.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Right. So before we end the news, let me ask you the question: should I get on Medium? Leave me, message me about
winner,
that, guys.
Handle Trash Monk. Let him know if he should join Medium. Give him your Medium experience so that he can then gauge his decision based on your experiences. Do it.
Because I heard one guy made money on it, and I'm like, I can write better articles than that guy.
I can write circles around that dude.
Because that's how you look at art.
Yeah.
I'm very Ayn Rand version of art.
Yeah,
making.
man. I go on Tumblr and I see someone draw something, and I'm super mad because I can draw way better than that. My pictures get like 1-2 likes, and this guy has 7,000 likes. I get so salty about it. Bastards. Right. I draw better than that. What I want to. Questions. If you want to email us and tell us your sick Tumblr Medium experiences, you can send that to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. That is mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com.
.com.
Yeah.
There we go. I was in the right key there.
We're going to harmonize. We're going to be like Bone Thugs in Harmony. We're going to be the Thuggish Ruggish Bone. And it's going to be the first of the month. Anywho, really easy questions.
Feels like that time of the month.
That's not cool to say. That's not good for anyone involved. Speaking of blood, what's your favorite creature effect?
My favorite creature effect?
Creature effect design.
Well, the one that affects me the most is whenever. Oh, that's a good question. Because the thing that's coming to my mind right now is the creature design in Freaked, which is a movie that we reviewed on MOTN cinema. I liked how gross everything was.
I gotta say, I am extremely happy that you dug that movie.
Yeah. It's because all the special effects looked like it was wet.
Yeah. Everything looks snotty, dude. Yeah. Ricky Coogan's effect, in my opinion, is one of the best I've ever seen. It just looks really good. It's silly. It looks like a cartoon brought to life. Freaking love that movie. I watched a movie recently on Netflix called The Ritual. And it's pretty much about a bunch of guys who go camping and make a left turn at Albuquerque and end up in horror. And I got to say, the creature effect in The Ritual is one of the best I've seen in a very long time. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's haunting. It's a really good effect. And it's that right balance of I can't tell if it's CG or practical effect that I really dig. And speaking of old studios, shout outs to Neil. There is a horror movie short he did called Zygote, where it's a creature literally built of like hundreds of bodies shaped into like a form. So except for one hand, it's like 100 hands.
That's cool.
And 100 chest pieces and 100 eyeballs all over it. It's a sick design. It's so good. So those are the two that come to mind. Watch The Ritual and go on YouTube and watch Zygote. It's like 10 minutes. Actually, watch all Old Studios stuff. It's amazing. It's brilliant. It's terrific, as the guys across the pond would say. Second question. What's your best example of a good retcon?
A good retcon.
Most people see retcons as negative. Oh, they changed the thing I love, right. But what's one that you say like, you know what, that's for the better. you fixed it. You know.
Yeah. I don't know if I would classify the new Star Wars movies. I'm gonna get like hate mail as like favorite, like as retcons. They're the only thing that comes to mind to me right now.
You know, I'm kind of where your head's at because I was thinking about the Star Trek movies retcon.
Yeah, that's
the one I thought of. Where it's like, I'm not mad at this. You know, like this is not bad. You know. It's a good way to move forward.
Right. It's a good way to move forward. There was absolutely no way in my mind that they were ever going to use that source material because they've done it in the past. They've used like other source material before. I believe I could be just making this up, and it was just the fans don't like it.
Fans are not gonna
so they might as well just make new. Yeah, they're never gonna like it.
That's what you learn. Yeah, man.
Right, and I'm happy with this whole like Star Wars movie every year
rock,
thing.
Huh?
Like, yeah, like I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I could live in a world that there's a new Mad Max every year, a new Star Wars. New James Bond, and Adam Sandler doesn't make anything. That would be,
and of course, as long as Marvel keeps putting out new characters, I can do a new Marvel movie as long as it's a new character. Because I just eventually,
those are good retcons.
Man, all the Marvel stuff is great retcon because none of it is exactly to the comics. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Moon Knight, bring on She-Hulk, bring on, of course, the FF, bring on.
Who would play She-Hulk?
Nah, she can't act good enough, unfortunately. I don't know.
Okay, then it would have to be a UFC fighter.
I think She-Hulk should be CG, but Jennifer Walters, her human counterpart, could be anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't... That's a very good question.
Yeah, I meant the human counterpart needs to be an MMA fighter.
You know what? That's the weird thing is that Jennifer, when she's the thing about She-Hulk is that she's She-Hulk 90% of the time, and it's very rare that she regresses back to Jennifer because Jennifer retains her personality while in She-Hulk form. She's just a little less inhibited. I think that's how the character goes.
Yeah. What turns her into She-Hulk? Quick.
Stress.
What turns her into She-Hulk?
Yeah,
very good. Very good. That's I learned that from just one of the comic books I owned as a child. I only owned 10.
I've only owned 10.
So,
as you eat one, 9. Put one on fire, 8.
They had one of those scratch sniffs on the back.
It smelled like popcorn, so I ate it. Okay, I know you're a creative guy, Winter, and you're a writer. So I want to find a question that I think could help you do a little bit of storytelling at the end of the show. And that question is, think of a lame video game character everyone hates. Now pitch your story on how to make them cool.
Okay. So you know the classic Nintendo NES game Paperboy, right? I'm talking that we should expand the universe of Paperboy and find out why is he allowed to do this at odd times and for it's literally the entire day delivering paper. And I think this should be a David Lynch style psychological horror where a stepdad is being abusive in the home, and that's why the son is out there delivering paper so that he can get out of the house as soon as possible. And the whole soundtrack and the whole movie will have the soundtrack by the band The Mountain Goats, particularly from their album Sunset Tree, which is also about the lead singer's abusive stepfather. And it would be called...
Tell me where have you been?
It would be called Paperboy Extra Extra, He's Hurting Me.
That is the darkest shit I've heard all week. Why
is that so dark? Though, right?
I watched the shit out of that because I want to know why the Paperboy could just be out at 3 a.m. delivering papers because he doesn't want to go. He can't go home.
Yeah. Now you need to add a love interest. And,
Paper Girl.
Yeah, Paper Girl, and that's going to be played by a Kristen Stewart style lady.
It's a boy. She's old as hell.
No, but it's going to be that like a Chloe Moretz type girl.
Fine, that's fine. I can rock with that. That's fine. Chloe Moretz and everything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's good.
Weird. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what's going on there.
No, it's just like they put Chloe Moretz and everything. Like she's going to be in the new Suspiria. I have no idea why.
Because she's Chloe Moretz.
It's just Chloe Moretz.
You can't put Dakota Fanning in anything now.
I hate. She's so grown now.
Okay, I got it. This is the breakout role for Daisy Ridley after Star Wars is over because she's going to need to do other stuff.
I love me some Daisy Ridley though. She's so cool. I like her.
Yep. Well, she'll be in this indie. It's definitely an indie film.
She'll be in Paperboy.
Yeah.
What'd you call it? Paperboy. Extra extra, he keeps hurting me.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not he maybe I'll work on the title. That's just
because until you fix it, that's the name of the podcast.
Okay.
Paperboy extra extra, he keeps hurting me. No, that can't be the name of the podcast.
No. You're making it worse.
You're making it so much worse. That just disturbed me on a weird level.
Yeah.
Mine's is super simple. I want to make a movie about Luigi and how
Talking Trees. That would be the title. There we go.
Talking Trees.
Because trees make paper, and the paper's turned into a newspaper that then tells you the news. Okay, moving on.
Can in the trailer can Jeremy by Stone Temple Pilots play? Jeremy spoken.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I know of Jeremy by Pearl Jam.
Whatever. Okay, I mixed it up. I'm not.
Learn your grunge, bro.
Your grunge, pleb. Sorry. I'm sorry. I have a friend out there who's going to punch me in the gut when I see him. Oh, yes. My movie. Luigi is super jealous of his brother, so he kills him and takes over his persona because they're identical. But Luigi kills Mario and gains weight, and then he starts dating the princess, but then she starts seeing breaks in his personality, and she eventually finds the corpse of Mario and King Koopa in the basement, and it's a revenge thriller, and she has to escape out of the Mushroom Kingdom because Luigi is constantly hunting her.
What type of soundtrack?
The soundtrack's going to be done by Daft Punk.
There we go.
It's going to be kind of like Driver, but with mushrooms. Think of the movie Driver on mushrooms, and that's what my Luigi psychotic thriller is going to be. Yeah.
All right. And what would be the title?
It'll be called Super Mario Brothers, but the Mario's X'd out and Luigi's put in this place.
Now I'm number one.
It's me, Luigi. Wow.
Okay, you play too much
I
Mario.
play way too much Mario. And Luigi's my favorite character. I just want them to do something with him. Damn it. MakeLuigiCool.org, please. What are you looking forward to this week, man?
Well, I am looking forward to sleep. Hopefully someone will invite me over to their house so I don't have to eat my own food.
Story of my life, man. Story of my damn life. Please invite me to your house.
And, I'm trying to do the system now where I want to write a 10-minute play every month so I can keep writing scripts.
Yes, stay sharp, man.
Who knows? This could be something in the future of Patreon stuff.
Patreon, yes. Please join our Patreon where all of our exclusive content is exclusive to Patreon subscribers. So for $5 a month, you'll get MOTN reviews. You'll get MOTN cinema. You'll get MOTN plays. You'll get all of our exclusive stuff that's not this weekly podcast. Please become a Patreon. We'll make you happy. We'll make it do what it do. And all of future Winter's endeavors will be exclusive on there as well. So, and that is MOTN, Patreon/MOTN. Yeah, man. I don't know why I made that weird noise from Donkey Kong Country.
But what are you going to do? What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just jumping in this Warframe, bro. I got to see what this game is about. I'm kind of itching to get back into that. Apparently Comic-Con is next week. So we're going to have a lot of chunky news to go through next week, hopefully. Yeah. There's a lot of drops and trailers and things we're going to talk about. So it's
make sure to take my caffeine tablet.
Right. It's going to just inject Monster into my eyeball and call it a night. So we should have a nice chunky Comic-Con cast next week, depending on how things go and when we record. So looking forward to that. Got to get to the movies. Got to check out Ant-Man. I got to check out Jurassic Park just so I can say I did.
I need to go to the movies, but no girl will take me. Okay.
Damn. You can't wait for it to come to you, man. You got to go to it, bro.
No. This is what beta males do.
Yeah, that being so beta, bro. You got to be them alpha boys. You got to be real alpha.
No, I'm fine being beta. Hey,
no, don't be beta,
you know
bro.
I'm about?
Trust me, I fight with that every day. You understand? Like, you can't be beta, bro. You can't. No. I would.
There's so many other worse things to be.
There's a lot more worse things, but don't self-diagnose yourself as
like
beta,
Andy
bro.
Dick.
No,
okay.
Sometimes you just need to be like, nah, bro. You want to go, bro? You want to go? Yeah. You want to fight? You want to go, bro? You got to alpha it up for like 2 seconds, and the moment they walk away, you beta back down. It's like going Super Saiyan. Like normally, I'm at beta level, but when you got to go Super Saiyan, you alpha up real quick. You want to go, bro?
Nah, it seems to contradict with my slacker mentality.
See,
to try to go.
To try to alpha it up. See,
yeah,
you only alpha it up when you don't feel comfortable. If you're comfortable, you beta down. But if you feel like uncomfortable, like in an environment that's like not suitable, bro, you gotta alpha it up just in case somebody tries to step to you, man. You know, because.
Well, we'll talk more about being a man next episode.
Yeah, we are not. What they say in Seinfeld, we are not men, bro. We should be having dinner with our sons.
Yeah, this is the Jocko podcast.
This is the podcast. We're going to talk about Rockstar and talk about like the World Cup, which I can't give two shits about.
Whoa! Okay, we got to end this.
We have to end this now. Thank you for listening to the MOTN. You can always find this sports hating podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify. Finally, remember to leave a like, send us a comment, please subscribe. I've been, of course, your host, Mike G.
And I've been your host, Winter, a.k.a. Trash Monk the Third.
And we will always ask you to take that one step beyond.